Hello, and welcome to Tim's Reflections from Ohio, a YouTube video series where we've been talking about and reflecting on parables and stories that Jesus told, as well as just general teachings from the entire Bible. And today I want to share with you a story that I read in a book recently, and it's a rather big book. It's called God's Minutes. And this was actually a book that belonged to my mother. My mother died about more than 40 years ago. And I've had this book, of course, for a long time. But in it, there is a story. It's called God Our Maker. And the verse for us to reflect on is taken from Psalm chapter 100, verse 3. Again, Psalm chapter 100 and verse 3, where we read these words, Know ye that the Lord, He is God. It is He that hath made us, and not we ourselves. We are His people, and the sheep of His pasture. And the story, again, has the title, God Our Maker. And it says in his autobiography, Man and Rubber, Harvey W. Firestone tells an interesting little story which concerns Henry Ford, who was a close personal friend of Mr. Firestone. Thomas Edison, John Burroughs, Mr. Ford, and Mr. Firestone were on one of their summer camping trips, traveling by automobile. They were camped one evening near the road. They noticed a man walking briskly down the road toward them. And on approaching the group, the man said, Gentlemen, I'm in trouble up the road about a mile. I'm on my way to an important engagement and my car has stalled. It absolutely refuses to go. I have tried everything I know to do with no results. Do any of you men know anything about a Ford? Mr. Firestone spoke up. Pointing to Mr. Ford, he said, That old fellow over there knows quite a bit about a Ford car. Will you come and help me? The man asked pleadingly. With pleasure, Mr. Ford replied. Excuse me, I've got a cold here. Mr. Ford started up his own Model T Ford, which he happened to be driving, and he and a stranger drove back to the stalled car. In a few minutes, he had the man's Ford purring, and both Mr. Ford and the stranger were happy with it. How much do I owe you? Asked the man, taking out his purse. Nothing at all, cheerfully replied the wealthy automobile manufacturer. It has given me great pleasure to be of some assistance. It is worth a lot to me to be able to get on my way, and you have fixed my car so it runs better than it ever ran before. I would like to show you that I appreciate what you have done for me. It is sufficient reward for me to be able to be of some help to you. I certainly do thank you, the man said. And do you mind if I say this? If I knew as much about an automobile as you know, I would not be riding around in a thing like that, he said, pointing to Mr. Ford's Model T. Mr. Ford drove back to his friends and told the story, and they all had a hearty laugh. The man who had designed and made the car understood it, every part. He could make it alive when it had gone dead. He made it run as it had never run before, and why shouldn't he understand the Ford car? With you and me, things often go wrong. We make mistakes. Our plans don't work out. We slip and fall. Sometimes we seem to be sliding back instead of making progress. Our acquaintances think they know the trouble and they suggest this or that remedy, but still things don't go right. There is one who knows about our weakness, your weaknesses and mine, for he has gone over the way before us. He is our Creator. He has made us. Why shouldn't he know more about us and our needs than any other? Why shouldn't we go to him with our troubles and trials? He has invited us to come. That story illustrates the point and reminds me that God knows everything about us because he created us. And so often we turn to other things. We turn to self-help books. We turn to maybe a new age something or other. Some people turn to those. But we leave out God so often. We need to go to God, and we need to realize and remember the fact that he knows us better than anyone else. He can make us whole again. Sin has messed up our lives so badly, but he can make us whole, and he can make us pure, and he can make us clean. We just need to come to him. I encourage you in the coming week, think about what your life is like. Think about if there's something in your life that needs fixing and you haven't been able to fix it yet. Bring it to God. He can fix it. Remember this story. Mr. Ford created that car, and he can make it run better than ever. God made your body. God made my body, and he can make them function better than ever if we will just let him. We'll leave it there today. Thank you so much for viewing the video. If you've been blessed, as always, hit that thumbs up button. Excuse me. Leave a comment. They're greatly appreciated. And then leave, if you've not done so, please hit that subscribe button, and you'll receive notification of new videos when they come out in the future. And as always, remember this: God loves you. He loves you so much that he sent his son to die on that cross all those years ago so that you and I could have eternity, an opportunity to spend eternity with him in heaven one day. Thank you so much. Have a blessed week.